virtually. So, welcome everyone to this Solar Energy Room Argentina. And here with us, we have three great panelists to give you a little bit more one insight regarding this topic in Argentina. If you have any questions, please just send in our chat here on the right. And by the end, we have more time for specific questions to provide to our panelists. So let's start with two of our colleagues from ESIJA Argentina, Mr. Christian Elbert and Mr. Octavio Seenajussa. Both of them are founding partners of ESIJA in Argentina and focus their efforts in the areas of corporate M&A and energy. Christian is a lawyer graduated from the University of Buenos Aires Law School with a major in corporate law, master in law and economics in finance and at Torquato de Teia University. With a wide experience in strategic advice and corporate counseling on transactions and foreign investments in biodiesel and wind energy. Octavio has developed significant experience by giving professional advice for Argentinian and foreign clients on business advice in investments in matters of energy. Lawyer graduated from the University of Buenos Aires Law School with a major in private law. Octavio has a master in law degree on the University of Pennsylvania. Both of them lead the European desk at ESIJA Argentina and are members of the German Professional Service Alliance, GPSA, as you all know. Christian and Octavio, thank you very much for your presence here, and please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Patricia. Herzlich willkommen, or a warm welcome to everybody to this forum of Argentina Renewables. My name is Christian Elbert. I'm, as you said, was introduced member of GPSA. I'm both a German and Argentine national, with many years working together with Rödl und Partner from Buenos Aires. I'm also a Vertrauensanwalt of the German Embassy, a member of the German Chamber of Commerce, and the representative of the AHK in the Euro Chamber of Commerce, among other positions. This is just descriptive of my focus and engagement with general, German interests in Argentina in general. Today, my task will be to provide a brief summary of Argentina's current situation. Then my colleague Octavio will provide specific insights to renewable energy, and last but not least, our friend and client, Walter Marin, will give us his very valuable insights of working in solar projects in Argentina to provide a hands-on experience. But we hope you will find this presentation interesting. So without further ado, maybe we can start. So maybe we go to the first slide. But the next one, thank you, Patricia. Yes, just a brief highlight on economics for Argentina, still considered to be the third largest economy in Latin America. What you can see is the GDP for 2020 in the range of $380 million, and the growth values are quite telling. And with a huge impact of the COVID pandemic in 2020, with a fall of almost 10% of the GDP. Now a projected recovery of the activities for 2021 of around 6.5%, and projecting for the next year a more moderate continuation of this tendency and around 2.7%. Can we move on to the next slide, please? So again, here, just general numbers that indicate what everybody, or almost everybody knows, that Argentina is right now in a critical situation in short terms, with quite a lot of challenges and red flags at the doorstep. And maybe to just highlight the major or three of the major aspects that do contribute to this short-term challenges, and of course have an impact on the near future, are on one hand macroeconomics, on the other hand COVID itself, and politics, as usual in our countries, and as the poll in the general meeting room has shown, it's always in the focus of discussion and perception when dealing with Latin America in general, but in this case also for Argentina. So just going to the point of the COVID, Argentina has had one of the longest lockdowns. No, we stay in this slide. We had one of the longest lockdowns during the start of the pandemic, and this had its toll on the general GDP, because this administration had a strong position in terms of prioritizing the general health vis-a-vis the general economic activity, which that shows this strong fall of the GDP during the last year. Just as a highlight of what is to come, if vaccination, the vaccination program is kept at this current pace, the expectation is that the whole population will be vaccinated by end of October of this year. This is, of course, if the rates are kept. We are in an election year, so the expectation is that these current rate of vaccination should or will be intended to be kept by the current administration. If not, if these rates decline, what we are expecting is to reach a full immunization by the first quarter of next year. Of course, that the new Delta strain is creating an additional threat on this general outline, and government has been reacting quite strongly, trying to reduce the inflights and outflights of Argentina in order to prevent a strong impact of this new strain on the general COVID-19 scenario. With having said that, and being this like the background of the current situation, we have to add the macroeconomics, and I would just try to summarize that one of the major challenges Argentina is facing is the foreign debt service payments, with two major events coming and being very close. One is a major payment with the WMF by the end of this year, and by beginning of the first quarter of next year, the Pariser Club. So that's creating quite a lot of tensions and expectation in the market. The general perception, as to my understanding, is that the public is not foreseeing in general terms a default scenario, but a scenario in which Argentina will be trying to conduct a renegotiation with these multilateral organisms in order to prevent a catastrophic scenario of lacking payment or missing the payments. So this will have, once solved, this of course will have a strong impact on the indicators of Argentina. So let's hope for that, and let's hope that the general expectation is right on that point. The last, but an additional point of all these three factors that are impacting Argentina right now is also the political scenario. We are in an election year, which is a midterm election in which current government is facing and not such a positive scenario as from where we're standing, because the general population is taking the conducted policies in terms of the management of the COVID crisis as a central point. And of course, coming months will determine if this climate or acceptance of the administration, which is currently very low, can be turned around by the government. So these are three factors that really incide on the current scenario. Argentina, in general terms, has of course strategic advantages, as we are specifying in the slide. The traditional agribusiness sector is always strong and keeps active. The other worth mentioning is technology services and technology-based activities and economies, which are being supported by the Argentine government and is in a growing tendency. And the third one could be the upcoming energy prospectus that we are going to be discussing with Octavio in just in a minute. As a balance to these strict short-term perspectives, I want to grab or just retake on the point that Inge Söllner made in the general presentation as to the strategic drivers that the policies and needs and demands for clean energy resources by the German government and the German market in general is going to happen, and it's going to be happening. And in this line, I just wanted to mention as a final remark that in the frame of the G20 meeting, both foreign ministers of Argentina and Germany met, and they agreed on a series of strategic agreements, which has been crystallized in the last couple of weeks, led by the German ambassador in Buenos Aires, Mr. Sante, who signed with the Ministry of Development a strategic program for supporting the development, industrial development, and digitalization of mid-sized companies in Argentina, education services, and the third one, and being most important, the discussion was opened and mentioned to undergo a strategic partnership agreement on clean energy with Argentina. Again, the drivers of this or the specifics will be extended by Octavio. Maybe just we can go to the next slide. So just to end up, I just want to, and as a segue to Octavio's more insightful presentation on renewables, I just leave you with the current matrix of energy sourcing production in Argentina. With, as you can see, we have figures for the years 21. So currently, the production on renewables is around in 11 or 12% of the general production matrix. Of course, fossil are still the predominant ones, but hydroelectric and nuclear have their own significant market share. Being the relevant part for this presentation, the renewable matrix. So, having said that, I can give the microphone to Octavio, so you can follow on that.
Thank you, Christian. It's a very interesting presentation. Could we go to the next slide, please? Okay. As Christian indicated, you have seen in the energy generation matrix that was shown in the pie in the last slide. Renewable accounts only for currently 12% of the total generation of Argentina. That has not always been the case, and I'm going to tell you how things have been improving in the past years. But first, I would start with a quick overview of the energy sector in Argentina and its best opportunities and conditions. First of all, as you may know, Argentina has a great stake in oil and gas, as it has a major shale reservoir that makes Argentina with the second shale gas reservoir in the world and the fourth oil shale reservoir, which would allow Argentina to dramatically increase its production levels of both oil and gas. Argentina also has the advantage of having the second largest world lithium reservoir, which, as you may know, is the cornerstone for the production of lithium batteries, which in turn is the key element for electric vehicles and also for the storage of energy generated with solar panels. So it's also remarkable advantage of Argentina, in which we also share a great opportunity. Argentina is a big country. It has different weathers, and in renewable energy matters, it is gifted with the abundant radiation and weather conditions in the northwest of the country, close to the Andes range, for you to have an idea. And at the same time, from the middle of the country to the south down to Patagonia, it has wind energy produced with sustainable winds that, when measured above 6 meters per 50 meters, surpass 6 meters per second, and is in certain cases or locations above 12 meters, which is very, very good for wind energy. Also, Argentina has a lot, as was shown in the generation pie, hydroelectric dams that are located over the Andes and in the big rivers that flow down from Brazil into the Atlantic Ocean through the River de la Plata, and which Argentina is taking advantage and is undergoing new projects which are very interesting as well. As Argentina produces abundant quantity, or have the potential of producing abundant quantities of energy generated by wind and solar, it also has advantages for the production of hydrogen. And the market, as it was clearly mentioned in the first set of this webinar, it is emerging and it is developing. There are several projects that legislative projects currently underway in the Congress to further foster this industry in Argentina with tax credits and other incentives that will help this development. Another topic that in energy that Argentina is currently underway, as the whole world is moving forward for the to the elimination of greenhouse gases and the carbon credits initiatives to compensate the net zero emissions. There is currently a market to exchange credits generated from different clean industries to serve other interests in the different areas of the set. Could you change the slide, please? The next one. Okay, I'm going to give a quick overview of how the electricity market, which is a cornerstone for the renewable energy, has been created and is composed in Argentina. In the 90s, Argentina underwent a series of privatizations, including the electricity sector, which basically divided the sector in three different stages: the generation, the distribution, and the transportation. They also created the regulation to enable the wholesale market, to enable the generators to sell the energy they created to the distributing companies, and created the transportation lines, which in turn enables also the generation to the transportations. In this regard, CAMMESA, which is a state-owned company, which is the intermediary in the wholesale market, was created. This company started to acquiring the energy from different generators and transferring the energy to the different distributors located in the urban areas. In the recent years, as I will explain later, with intention of fostering the renewable energy development, they created certain prerogative for renewable energy generators to enable them to dispatch the energy generated by them whenever the energy is produced. Otherwise, they would have been experiencing limitation, because more probably the generation times not always were matched with the demand peaks. So that created certain difficulties that was tailored or tried at least to be met by these renewable energy priority dispatch. Most of development countries experience the same kind of pitfalls, which is the energy cost. Argentina is not an exception in this rule. When energy prices peak, it creates unrest in the public, which in turn creates an incentive for the government to stay agreed tariff prices in energy rates and try to compensate the generators with subsidies, which not always are as efficient as free market, which also create certain difficulties, as you may imagine. Can we change the slide, please? Okay. The grid is divided in on-grid and off-grid. Off-grid because the geographical condition of Argentina, although it has the highest electricity penetration rates of South America, there are certain population which are unserviced by the grid because of economic costs in the construction of those grids. But people typically live in rural remote areas, and they need special projects to enable them to acquire electricity, as Walter Manning will explain later. It's a very interesting program that was financed by the World Bank and was carried out by, among others, by a company of Walter. Can we change? Okay. As you remember in the generation chart, the renewables currently shares 12% of the total generation of energy in Argentina, but that was the case as recently as 2016. At that time, Argentina only generated 2% of its total energy generation from renewables. At the time, the government decided to pass a law, which is Law 27191, which was designed to foster the renewable energy in Argentina. This law, in turn, created what is called the Renovar, which is the Renewable Energy Programs, which was a series of public bids for energy, for renewable energy to be acquired by CAMMESA. In the original bill established a series of incentive tax and also from a shield from the volatility of the market provided by trust funded created by the government and insurance of the World Bank to secure long-term agreements of power purchase agreements of more than 20 years. And not surprisingly, this was a huge success. And although the target of the initiative was to reach 8% by 2017, and that target was not met, but as you may see, in 2021, we are already producing or generating 12% of the total energy production from renewables. And in May this year, the total generation reached a country record of 24%, which is quite remarkable. And especially if you think about that, back in 2016, the generation rate was only 2%, which is quite a great start. The initiatives created a flow of investment of $7.5 billion, which was basically to finance solar, wind, and biomass and projects and small hydro projects as well, but basically solar and wind energy. Another initiative that was created to further foster the renewables energy was the MATER program. The MATER program is intended to enable user of above 300 kilowatts of energy consumption per year to acquire directly energy from the generators, and also has, as I mentioned before, in the priority dispatch initiative, they have the possibility of ensuring those acquirers that their energy will be transferred with the energy high voltage lines of Argentina. The aftermath of the initiative has been, I mean, on a quick glance, you can say it was quite successful because it reached a dramatic increase of the production, but somehow it was short of the goal because the initiative targeted reaching 20% of the total generation by the year 2025, and at this point it's quite unlikely that that would be met. If all the projects that were awarded are completed, which given the current financial conditions, there's some concern that that will not be the case, the total would reach 18%, so it will be a little bit short, but nevertheless, it's quite interesting to see the outcome. Argentina has, can we change the slide, please? Argentina has also plans to further increase the generation, and by the year 2030, they try to threefold increase in the renewables, targeting to reach at least, with the current rates, reaching 30% of the total generation. This will imply that new bids shall be called just to further increase the generation of the energy. And as before, they will be focusing in wind, solar, small hydro, and biogas and biomass projects. Argentina, as explained, has a lot of potential for energy and solar, and as those will be the essential element for the moving forward for the zero carbon footprint, it is important to understand that in turn will give Argentina the opportunity to have a say in the hydrogen business, as the solar and wind energy is essential for creating hydrogen from clean sources. And we know that the government is working in projects to create incentive for the development of this kind of technology in Argentina. Carbon credits is also another part of the problem that is really should be looked with detail, as Argentina will enact legislation that will further contribute to the exchange of carbon credits. And instance, certain financing of certain dam projects are targeted being used as carbon credits for other countries or other industries located in Argentina that need to improve their carbon footprint as they're highly contaminated. Opportunities in Argentina, there are opportunities. As you know, it's a country with high economic volatility and cycles of high inflation and depression and other typical turmoils that are currently common in Latin America, but also share the opportunities of derived from the resources that it has. Argentina will have a role to play in the upcoming renewable markets. Above all other conditions, because it has the weather condition and the environment condition that enable the development of such technologies. Okay, now Walter Marin will share his experience in renewables in Argentina.
Thank you, Otavio. Thank you, Christian. Our third panelist is Mr. Walter Martin, and with a master's degree in electronic engineering with specialization in power electronics. Walter is an engineer with 35 years experience in researching, designing, manufacturing, and marketing power inverters in the range of 100 kilowatts. He participated in Engineer Pioneer's high-frequency power inverter in heating applications. From 2020 to 2011, he ran several programs in Hong Kong, and none of these projects delivered in innovative MPPT software, which some of you know that means maximum power point tracking, capable to have better efficiency in solar farm than the current available in the market. Founder of the companies Vest Power and Plug the Sun, he is currently the CEO of both companies, continuing the mission to provide effective products and solutions to the underprivileged. Walter, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Patricia, for the nice presentation, for the nice introduction, and thank you to my valuable friend in Argentina, Octavio and Christian, for the flyover of the market in Argentina, talking about renewable energy. So I'm going to talk about our experience in the rural electrification project. Specifically in the PERMER program. PERMER program is a program under the Ministry of Energy that has the target to provide the electricity to the very remote area where the grid cannot reach the people. PERMER started in 2012 and but basically has a boost in 2016 when the World Bank provided a loan to the Argentina state to implement this project. Argentina has a quite good electrification rate in the country. Let's say we are around 95% of the population has access to the electricity. However, there is still 200,000 families that they don't have access to the electricity, that represent 5% of the country. And so the loan from the World Bank, or the scope of the loan was really to reach these people, that they are really hard to reach and in a very remote area. And I will show you our experience in this project. We awarded the third part of this project, that was 8,500 families in 8 provinces all around Argentina. We show later, and the size of the project was around 20 million. So we provide a turnkey solution to the Ministry of Energy. So we execute the project and we install the project. Next slide, please. Next one, please. Okay, can you click on the, so I will use 4 minutes video that will explain and will show you what we have done. Specifically, this video come from the execution in the province of San Juan. And
I've already let it, just for you to know, there's no audio.
No, purposely we have no audio, because so I can talk over the video and explain to you what is the purpose of what we have done on the ground. Okay, so I will not go too much detail on the number and what we are doing, that even though I have in the presentation, and then maybe Patricia can share with the participant. But I want to highlight the high social impact that this kind of project has on the local community. This is our project manager. This is the system that we install in the house, the people. This is one of the houses where we install the solar panel. You see that we are where there is no road, no access. Here is our team explaining to the people how work the system, and you can see that these people never have a light, never have a connection to charge the phone or connection to run an appliance or even a TV. So the people was very grateful. I think it's really a big impact on the local community, especially some of the indigenous community or some of the very remote community in the country. Here you can start to see the big challenge we have in this project, because the the area where we have the project to execute was really cannot even access by the car, and so we have to use any kind of means to install the solar panel and the power electronics and the battery to provide the electricity. Our product is not connected to the grid, so our product is a standalone system. You see here we have the donkey to use to carry the light, the solar panel. This is the people that we were meeting during the execution of the project. You see, this is the big challenge when you do this kind of project, when you go into this very remote area. So apart from the social impact is also make possible for these people to have a what we call a dignified life. So we know that without energy, it's not possible to have a dignified life. So this why is also the vision and the mission that of my company. So to put all our resources, all our knowledge, what we have in designing good product, reliable product that can run for many years, and can really serve these people that they never see a light in their life. And for sure, this is a kind of life-changing product. This kind of installation really changed the life of the people. So we have some interviews. You see the people there in the countryside or this area, but this is the final goal that we should achieve, and this is in line on what we call and I will talk later about this topic. What is the Sustainable Development Goal that the United Nations established in 2015, and specifically the number 7 say that we should achieve the energy access for all by 2030. And this Permer project has been, let's say, a small contribution to this to achieve this goal. So, and also Argentina give this contribution. Next slide, please. Okay, next one. Okay, my company is in 4 continents. We are in Argentina with this project. We operate also in South Africa with other similar projects. In the Philippines, and we base in. So we are Italian team, but we base in Hong Kong for the vicinity to the production of our product. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the Argentina project. You see here on the right panel, you can see a small map of Argentina where the red dot can show you where we have made the installation. So we go from north to south. We impacted 42,500 people. We have installed 1.8 megawatt of solar panel, and then we have avoided 3,285 tons of CO2 per year just with this project. Next slide, please. Here is a similar experience that we have done in Peru. In Peru, we have electrified some of the area, especially the Titicaca Lake. That was one of the most amazing experience to do because there's a floating island. The grid cannot really go there, and then so we installed the solar panel. You see the lady on the right panel with the solar panel on the house, and then the people was really happy to. They was waiting for the solar panel for many years. Next slide, please. Another opportunity that we didn't execute in Argentina, but I can tell you that Argentina there is more than 5,000 schools that they are not connected to the electricity. So I think it's a huge opportunity for the private sector to liaise with the public sector to see to provide a solution, because we believe education is really an important matter for the community. We made a similar experience in Myanmar. We installed our system in school. They impacted almost 3,000 students, and the system was running monitor and router to provide education material to the student. Next slide, please. Okay, I go faster because I think I'm almost over my 10 minutes. Can you go to the last one? Okay, this one. So just to finish our experience, what is our vision, our goal when you provide the electricity access to the people. I think today we have a very big mission that last month we have a meeting at the United Nations level where all the organizations around the world make a commitment that we call the Global Energy Compact that is powering 1 billion lives by 2030. So it's a very ambitious plan. And I think Argentina should play a role in this one, and also the private sector in Argentina should play a role in this one. I think the three is the major asset. The net zero carbon emission, that is the global mission already of the humanity. And I can say that all our projects aim to save carbon emission and provide carbon credit. This is something that the corporate should evaluate to evaluate, to assess this kind of project has a ESG metrics that you can have a carbon credit and make it good for the community, because really this kind of project has a huge social impact. They are changing people's life, they're empowering social and business activity, and they are creating a lot of local jobs. In our project, we employ more than 700 people to execute the project. And last but not least, the Sustainable Development Goal number 7, that to achieve 100% electrification and alleviate the poverty and dignify people's life is our target. And those hard to reach community benefit from solution where no cable reached before, and that this kind of solution that we are implementing there. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you very much for the presentation. I'm really proud of your company. It's a really, really great project, and I'm happy we have companies like yours taking care of our communities worldwide. Thank you all for the insights, Octavio and Christian, also great insights about Argentina market. And also now I'm going to start the interaction with the public. So if anyone else wants to do any kind of questions or even open cameras, open microphone, our panelists are here to answer your questions. And I'm going to start with at least one of mine, since we are more between close friends here, Christian. And well, first of all, more for Christian, I think, and a little bit for Octavio too. I heard that you talked a lot about governmental issues, trying to evaluate incentives for companies. And one of the main issues you have right now in Argentina is regarding the new governmental that may be change or not now with the new elections. How do you see possible opportunities on projects to incentivize companies to start projects of renewable energies in Argentina, not only focus on solar, but also considering what Octavio said about credits, carbon credits, or also green hydrogen? How do you see the future regarding the possible new government or maintenance of the current one?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Basically, this election will not change, will not imply a change of government, because it's an intermediate election. It's basically the renewal of the House of Representatives. But yes, you're right in the sense that this election might change the political background in Argentina, which is usual, is to see how strong the current administration is going to keep its representation in the houses. This is, of course, of major importance for legislative projects, law projects that include, of course, initiatives like incentives for this industry. I myself would just tackle your question by giving us my impression is it's not currently. There's not a project, a specific new project, but Octavio is going to be elaborating on that for a major stimulus package. But again, what I was referring to in the introduction is there is a strategic driver in there is a market opportunity, and if you look in the midterm and long term, the advantages of the Argentine market and possibilities in the clean energy sector, as highlighted by Octavio and by Walter, and adding to that the strategic view of the German government to develop closer interactions, to finance, there's this German development bank already financing projects in Argentina. They will keep doing it in Salta, in Jujuy, in Mendoza, in other provinces of Argentina. There are projects ongoing right now. So I think it's like a perfect storm to crystallize in something specific that we don't have right now at hand. But again, the interest is there, and with a strategic partnership with Germany, for example, I think that could be really essential to push the government to issue some additional support. Octavio?
Yes, you can. I think that it's not only the direct investment or interest in the generation sector of renewables, but also ancillary industry that also participate in other ways in this industry. For instance, electromechanical industry or engineering company that creates value and can service local vendors in Argentina, which in turn will benefit from the different projects that the government is currently bidding or making bids for. So there will be a number of instances. You don't have to forget that Germany is a major player in the car industry, and the future of the car industry will be electric vehicles, either with ion lithium batteries or with hydrogen. You don't know, it doesn't matter, but it would certainly be electrical vehicles. And in both ends, Argentina will have a say, either because they produce the lithium for the batteries or the solar and wind power to create the hydrogen. So definitely there will be opportunities in those areas.
Perfect. And considering all these opportunities that you have right now in Argentina, and also considering these new impacts, not only the new government, but also that Christian said, and also pandemic situation that got everything a little bit delayed than we expected. One question would be, considering all these possibilities and all these kind of products you can offer in Argentina, solar, hydrogen, carbon, etc., which is the best opportunity, if you evaluate or can give this insight, which would be the best opportunity in renewable energy in Argentina for the next years?
I think there are two kinds of opportunities. First would be there is a number of projects with power purchase agreements in place to service the renewable programs, but they were not able to close the financial conditions. So there are opportunities there to jump in and close those projects. There are also opportunities to provide the private companies or the sector or the public sector with, as I mentioned, engineering of electromechanical equipment that would be needed for the development of the hydrogen industry. So there are the areas that you take both lithium and hydrogen. So those are the areas.
Yeah, I would suggest to ask Walter also. He's actually an active player and he has a a professional insight on opportunities. And maybe Walter, you can give us your point of view from your experience being in Argentina and working with and in Argentina.
Yeah, I see the country, and I think we need to do a kind of a distinction. We need to let's say put a bracket in this time of the pandemic time, because with Octavio we experienced a long delay in the administration and in providing answer and providing the proper tools to and then we understand, because basically all the world was stuck at home, and then everything was specifically closed in lockdown. I think that what I see from Argentina, I see the young people of Argentina. I see a lot of talent in Argentina, and I believe in terms of I am a talent scout. We are doing 2 startups now, one in Hong Kong, one in Italy, to attract the young people to work on the renewable energy, to work on this aspect of the social impact of the renewable energy on the local community. In Argentina, I see a huge potential for hydrogen, for sure, but I see that one all around the world. But I see also for the so-called digitalization of the energy. That is the decentralization of the energy. So if we want to provide better service to the end user, and then if we want to make more efficient the use of the energy in any country, we need to go for digitalization. So I think there I see a lot of potential.
I agree with Walter, and I just want to add that one of the strategic points, and there is a specific law subsidizing the economy of knowledge in Argentina, with tax incentives and fiscal programs, which I think has a huge potential. And again, the industry 4.0 or the digitalization of the long tail, even in the electric ecosystem, as Walter is mentioning, I think there's a huge potential, because human resources, creativity, and capability on digital servicing and development are quite a strong point in Argentina. That's something that I think is very interesting.
Great. Thank you very much, Walter, Christian, and Octavio. Unfortunately, I think our time is really up already. And however, myself, I want to thank you all. It was great for me. I learned so much with you. I'm so proud of Walter's company too. And thank all the panelists for sharing your invaluable insights and experience on the renewables. We could answer all the questions we received, and the unanswered questions, please feel free to send us emails, and I can address with Walter, Octavio, Christian, whatever you need to ask for them, for sure. I believe between tomorrow and Friday, we will send a retrospective email with all the information of this event, and then you can reply us with specific questions regarding Argentina or other countries you heard on the other rooms we created. Thank you all for participations, and have a blessed afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Thank you again for our 3 great panelists today.
Thank you very much. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.